So you guys chuckle a little bit about that singing story, but I'm pretty sure I could have been the next Asian Justin Bieber if I was able to continue. So anyways, let's get to the main point of the talk today. I thought I'd give a brief overview of what I'm going to cover so you guys know what to expect. I'm going to go over a little bit about the psychology of selling, and then I'm going to give you guys an actionable strategy that you can take with your email autoresponder to sell a whole bunch of affiliate offers. And if you actually have your own product for sale, this autoresponder sequence template will hopefully help you sell your product as well. And then I'll show you a little bit about how I have my own autoresponder set up. But you know, at the end, you can just go to my site and actually sign up for the autoresponder yourself and see how I have everything laid out. Okay, so I know a lot of you guys probably have never heard of me. So I thought it'd be best to start out by introducing you to a species that I call Wifus quiticus. Okay, so this species gets to sleep in every day. She gets to be her own boss. She basically runs her own company. And this is what my wife looks like every single morning when I wake up in the morning and have to go to work. She's there sleeping nice and peacefully. Okay? And the reason she's able to sleep this nicely is because when she became pregnant with our first child, she told me that she wanted to quit her job. Okay, so I panicked, and we came up with a strategy to create an e-commerce store. So this is our e-commerce store, bumblebeelinens.com. We started it in 2007, and within a year, we were able to make about $100,000 in profit. And as a result, it was incidentally how much she was making with her regular day job. And so she was able to quit her job. And today, since 2007, it's grown in the double and triple digits ever since. And basically, she spends time. We have office space now. We have employees. And she basically runs it, shuttles our kids day to day from their activities, and basically runs the online store. Okay, so that's her story, but we're here to talk about me today. So, I got used to seeing my wife sleeping and me having to get up in the morning, so I wanted my own retirement plan. So I created my site, which is mywifequitherjob.com. Once we had our online store, I was getting tons of questions about how we got started, how to actually launch the store, so I decided to document it on this site. Okay, so I full-on started this with the intention of monetizing it, and I'm actually really proud to say that last year I finally broke the six-figure mark, and this year I will make more money off this site than from my day job. So I'm actually now kind of poised to quit my job. I got all the groundwork laid in place. Okay, but for the remaining portion of this talk, it wasn't easy. Compared to the online store, blogging has been a lot harder to make money for me than the store, mainly because you don't really sell anything. So today I'm kind of going to go through some of the struggles that I went through as I was creating my blog, and then talk about how this email autoresponder sequence, which I'm going to talk about, really turned the tide for me. Okay? Okay, so what are some of the different ways to make money on the blog? I'm sure a lot of you guys are bloggers out there. You can either monetize with pay-per-click ads, you can do affiliate marketing, you can do CPM ads where you're paid by the impression, or you can sell your own products. Now, even though when I first launched my blog, I was getting pretty good traffic, but I found that unless you got enormous gobs of traffic, that affiliate marketing and perhaps selling your own products is the best way to go. Otherwise, you're not going to get very much from the little banner ads that you put on your site. Okay, and so early on, I felt that my content was really good. I was documenting step by step how I was starting the online store. A lot of people were interested in it. I was getting emails with questions. My list was getting built. I created a bunch of posts where I documented which services that I was using to open my online store, and I was getting affiliate revenue from that. But the money just wasn't really there. I was making a decent amount of money off of affiliate revenue, but it wasn't that much, no more than spending cash where I could take my wife out to eat. In terms of AdSense, again, that was just spending cash, not very much money. And so I was a little bit disappointed. I poured my heart and soul into this blog, and it just wasn't making enough for my retirement plan. Okay, so this, just to put a timestamp on this, it was about January of 2011. I had a decent-sized list at the time, about 8,000 members. Had a nice autoresponder sequence set up where I knew what my most popular pieces of content were, and so I would guide my users of my email list down the road of my best content on my site. The engagement was pretty good, but the money wasn't there, wasn't getting many affiliate clicks, ad revenue pretty much non-existent. Okay. So what I did was, I decided to take the next step of monetization, which was to start an online course, have my own product that I could actually sell. And I really didn't want to go this route because it's a lot of work. So what I did, and this is what was interesting about my course. So it's a course about how to create an online store. And I launched it with absolutely no content whatsoever. So I basically blasted it out to my list, and I said, hey, you guys, I'm thinking about starting a course. I don't have anything yet, but if you take a stab and just trust me, sign up, I'll put out good content for you. Okay, and so I went through this standard product launch formula. I built up a little bit of excitement with my list. I did a live webinar, and I managed to sell 35 seats in one day at $300 a pop. So that was really exciting for me, but then I was like, oh crap, I need to start creating content right now. Okay, so the course actually has been doing really well. In just the 2 years since I launched in March 2011, I've created almost 150 videos just by taking the slow and steady approach. And I just signed my 500th student to the class. I've raised the cost of the course 3 times over the course. Okay. But in creating this course, I actually had another dilemma that I was facing. I had no real strategy for getting more customers in the door. So sure, I launched a webinar, and that did really well for me, but I had a full-time job. I had 2 kids, an online store, and a blog to run in addition to this course. I didn't really have time to constantly put on these webinars, right? And I'm sure a lot of you guys are on this list, but I didn't want to turn it into one of those email marketing spammers. Those guys who kind of email you every other email trying to sell you something. I just didn't want to be that guy. So I had this dilemma where I wanted to continue to sell my course and that sort of thing, but without coming across as selling too much. Okay, so this was March 2011. At that point, I had 500 posts on my blog. And in addition to selling my course, I also wanted to sell affiliate offers, okay, because I wanted a multi-pronged strategy to make money. And what I discovered, I did some analysis on my posts, and it's pretty interesting. I discovered that very few posts on a blog actually make any money. And I looked at my blog with over 500 posts, and I found that only 12 posts were actually bringing in affiliate revenue. Okay, and so what does that mean? It means that if someone is not reading one of those 12 posts, I'm not going to make any more money than possibly an AdSense click, which in a lot of cases is $1 or less. Okay? So I sat down and kind of thought about it, and I really needed a way to bring all of my readers and have them visit my money content, and I also wanted to sell my course at the same time. And so essentially, and this is just marketing speak, I needed to create a funnel of my readers to my money products. Okay? But I had no experience in doing this, so everyone has a mentor that they look up to when they're trying to do new things. And so wanted to talk a little bit about my mentor. She's been doing this all of her life, and for the past 5 years, she's been an excellent salesman, and she's really taught me a lot. And it's actually my daughter. Okay, so isn't she cute? Yeah. You guys in the back, stop looking at my daughter. Sorry, it's a daddy reflex. But this girl is so good at selling that even before she was able to talk, she was crying a lot, and I had to rush to Babies R Us, where I pretty much purchased all the possible child pacification technologies available on the market in order to pacify this girl. And she's cute and all, but she does have one weakness, and that she's bad at math. Okay? And she's only 5, and for most parents, it's cool, if your 5-year-old's bad at math. But for an Asian family, a child who's bad at math is really bad. Okay? And you joke, you laugh, but there's support groups for this, where you go up there and you go, my name is Steve, and my daughter can't add. And then everyone pats you on the back, and then then they brag about their kids who are doing multiplication and long division, whatever. Okay, so this girl is really good at sales, and whenever she comes up to me with this face, it's usually bad news because she wants something. Sometimes she puts her hand on my cheek and goes, Daddy, I love you, right? And I know she wants something at that point. Okay, so in this case, she wanted to buy a Princess iPad app. Okay, and so she goes, Daddy, can I buy this Princess iPad app? And I said, well, is it free? She's like, no, I think it costs money. And I said, well, no, you can't get it. And then so she sulked off. And, this is just standard procedure for this girl because she was coming back for more. Okay? So the next day, we're just having dinner. And, she's telling me about her day. And then just out of the blue, she goes, Daddy, did you know that 7 plus 6 equals 13? And I was like, oh, yeah, that's nice. What? Son of a motherless? What did you just say? She's like, 7 plus 6 equals 13. And 7 plus 8 equals 15. I'm like, wow, where did you learn that? She's like, well, the Princess iPad app. And so I was like, wow, okay. How much is this app exactly? She's like, oh, just $9.99. And I was like, $9.99? And you got to understand that Apple has conditioned us to pay no more than 99 cents or $1.99 for apps, right? So $9.99 is like $1 million as far as I was concerned. And so I did what any Asian parent tells their kids. When I was young, I didn't have an iPad. When I had to learn math, I had to use an abacus. And that bottle of water that you're drinking, when I was young, I had to walk a mile to the well to grab 2 buckets of water that I had to carry back like this for the house. But what she didn't really know was that the well was like my name for 7-Eleven. And there was a 7-Eleven near my house a mile away, and I did have to walk to get my Slurpee and come back, but she didn't know that. So anyway, she sulked off again, and she hadn't given up just yet. Okay, so a couple days had passed at this point, and I dropped her off at her preschool. And as soon as I dropped her off in class, there were a whole bunch of little kids huddled up. And she was like, look, all my friends play with this math app, okay? And then there's this little Chinese boy. There's a lot of punks in school these days. He was like wearing his jeans down to his butt. I don't understand the look, and I didn't really want her to hang out with my daughter. But this little kid comes up, he's only 5, but comes up to me and he goes, Mr. Chu, test me on math. And I'm just like, the kid's like this tall, right? I'm like, all right, little China, let's see what you got, all right? What's 5 plus 5? 10. What's 6 plus 7? 13. What's 119 plus 112? 231. And I was like, 9 plus 2, carry over the 1, 2 to, very good, very good, very good. And he was like, did I get the answer before you did, Mr. Chu? Did I get the answer before you did? And I'm like, yeah, all right, beat it, kid. So, there's a bunch of other kids that were in her class that were really good at math, and they were all playing this Princess app. And I don't know why this little boy was playing a Princess app, but he had other issues anyway, since he was wearing his pants low to his waist anyways. But it made me think, okay? And that night, I had her show me that Princess iPad app, and basically she showed me all the features, and I noticed that there was a free version, which is how she learned that 7 plus 6 in the first place. And I was like, hey, look, you got the free version. Why do you need the full version? And she was like, well, the free version only does single-digit math. You do want me to be able to add more than single digits, don't you? And then there's multiplication. She could barely say that word. And then division, and there's reading and writing, all the things that a little girl needs to succeed in school and go to a great college. So anyways, at this point, I was obviously sold. I've actually bought her tons and tons of iPad apps, which is why I was initially resistant to buy any more apps for her. But I ended up buying the whole Princess collection. Addition, multiplication, division, reading, writing. These princesses are very well educated, let me tell you. But anyways, so, based on that story, I wanted to take all the tactics she uses on me with an email autoresponder. So in order for an email autoresponder to work in the first place, you actually have to get people on your list in the first place. Okay, so first things first, what you need is some sort of lead magnet in order to get someone to sign up. You guys probably all know this already if you've watched a whole bunch of webinars online, that sort of thing. But I do have a couple things to say about this. Okay. First things first, you don't really want to give out an ebook as your lead magnet. Okay. In 2011, I was giving out an ebook as my lead magnet. And the purpose of that ebook was to get people to click on my affiliate links. And it was also to get people to click on my course webpage where hopefully they were going to sign up. Okay, but it just wasn't happening. I was tagging all my links, so I knew exactly how many people were clicking on the links, and it was very bad. Okay? And then I listened to this lecture that Pat Flynn and Clay Collins had given, which further corroborated my views, where they said long ebooks and time-consuming giveaways might hurt you because people don't read them. Something short and sweet is more likely to be read. Okay, and everything that I was getting with my data pretty much agreed with this sentiment. Okay, so what did I do? I set up my autoresponder, and I took that ebook, and I decided to break it up into email. Incidentally, I don't know if you guys know Jeff Rose. He just launched his book, Soldier of Finance. This is actually a book cover that I designed for him, which was unfortunately promptly rejected. I forgive Jeff. I forgive Jeff because I realized that I did not put Mandy as the woman on the cover, so it's my bad. All is forgiven. Anyways, where am I? Where was I? Ebook to autoresponder sequence. So instead of giving out this monolithic PDF, you want to break it up into multiple-sized, bite-sized chunks in a multi-day email course. And so why do you want to do that? First of all, more people are likely to click on links in email than in a PDF file. Okay? Customer gets awesome content in bite-sized chunks. And what's really nice is it actually gets people to look forward to the emails that you're sending. And it also actually gets people to really engage more in your content and want more after you've ended your email sequence. So I get emails all the time. Sometimes a particular step doesn't get delivered. I get someone to email saying, I didn't get step 3, can you send it over? That's just an indication to me that people really want this content and that doing it this way is the way to go. Okay? Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about click-through results. Compared to when I gave away that monolithic ebook, a much larger percentage of my email customers, as high as 68%, were actually clicking on my email links and my affiliate offers, as opposed to when I gave out that monolithic PDF. And this is over 10x better than when I had the PDF. So orders of magnitude better. Okay, so let's talk about the giveaway. Okay, and this is kind of getting into a little bit more about how I have my own autoresponder sequence set up. I have a couple of objectives with my autoresponder sequence. One, it's to try to sell affiliate offers. And ultimately, it's to try to sell my course that teaches people how to start an online store. Okay, so my advice to you is if you're trying to do a giveaway as a lead magnet, and you sell a product, give it away, a portion of it. Okay, and the key point here is that everything that you teach has got to be step by step. Okay, and the other key point here is that you got to use both text and video to try to sell these things. Okay, some people like to read text. A lot of the newer generation likes to watch video instead. And what's really great about video, actually, is that it allows you to show off your personality. And let's go over my my autoresponder sequence a little bit. First things first, as soon as you sign up for my email list, you get step 1, which is a video of me. Okay, it's a short video that basically just introduces myself and what I have to offer. And I basically tell my story on how we launched this e-commerce store that made over 100K. I emphasize that I had no experience, never run a business before, I had never sold anything in my life. And I don't sell anything at this point. I just try to come across as sincere and tell my story. And based on user feedback, that first video has resonated very well with a lot of my readers. Okay. And then step 2, I go into a tutorial where I teach people how to actually launch the website portion of their online store. Okay, and so here's what I go over in a bunch of different steps of an email autoresponder sequence. I show people how to find products to sell online, how to sign up for hosting, how to set up a shopping cart, how to accept credit cards, how to get a great shopping cart design. And each and every step of this tutorial has both text and video. And each one of these steps also has the services that I've used in the past and recommend as affiliate links. Okay? Okay, so one little thing that I just thought I'd mention about video. In general, when you're putting out video, it's generally harder to get someone over to click on an affiliate link. Because when you show video, you have to actually get someone to type something in. So in general, the way I pretty much guide people in my videos to click on affiliate links is I use the Pat Flynn patented method. Now, you guys know Pat Flynn. He makes a godly amount on Bluehost every month based on this one YouTube video. So I took the same strategy. And basically, in the beginning of your video, you start it off by saying, this tutorial is going to start by clicking on this little banner ad here. Okay? And then you walk through step by step through the entire sign-up process, step by step. You actually go through and you sign up for that product yourself. Even if you already have the product, you go and sign up again, you pay the money again. Okay? Because people are much more likely to follow you step by step than if you skip any steps along the process. Okay? Okay, so in my giveaway, I more or less show people how to start an e-commerce store from scratch. Some people will just take this info and run with it, and they'll click on my affiliate links. They'll launch their online stores, but they don't actually have enough info to be successful, but they're a lot of times really happy to just get the site up. And then there's going to be a small subset of people who are going to want to learn more about your product. Okay, and so that's where a small portion of my candidates are actually willing to pay for my course, which I charge $5.99 for. Okay? So after I've given this tutorial, which in my case right now is 5 steps, 2 to 3 days later, I make sure that I send them a follow-up email. Okay? Keep in mind that this 5 steps, there's kind of a lot of information to digest. And oftentimes, people get really excited about it, and then they rush off, and then they launch their stores. And so this follow-up email for me is an opportunity for me to explain to them why what I've given them is not quite enough to launch a successful online store. So I talk about some of the mistakes that I made. I mentioned that I go into much greater depth in my course because e-commerce is a very complicated topic, lots of different facets that aren't covered. And then I give a very light sell of the course. Okay? And that's just something for them to think about for a couple days to realize all the different things that they need to consider in order to launch a successful business. Okay? Then, 2 days later the reader's probably still thinking about it, and they probably have a whole bunch of questions. Okay? So early on in this sequence, I actually didn't have a fact page, and I was getting pretty much bombarded with emails every day. So I basically decided to add a fact page where I would be pretty much preemptively answer all the questions that they had about what I had to offer. So a lot of questions like how much money does it take to start? What equipment do you need? How hard is it to start a website? How much time does it take? How much does it cost? And first and foremost, can I really make money doing this? Okay, and so I basically, in this one email, answer all of these questions to the best of my ability and in the most sincere way I can, without hyping anything up. I just give it to them straight. Okay? And then 2 to 3 days later, I kind of give them the sell. And it says hard sell on here, but it really isn't a hard sell. It's more like a soft sell where I just kind of lay it out. If you've been selling your product for a while, you probably have testimonials if it's a good product. I basically take this opportunity to show off students that have created online stores with my product. I show off testimonials. Got a whole bunch of students in my class doing 4 figures a month, which is a really good selling point for me. So I'm sure to point those sites out to the people on my autoresponder sequence. And mainly what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to include as much real proof as possible that my course works. Okay? And then finally, and I wanted to allude to Pat and Clay Collins' podcast. If you guys haven't heard this podcast already, highly recommend you go on his site and listen to it. But you definitely want to include some sort of resource at the very end of your autoresponder sequence. Because even if people aren't willing to take your tutorial, chances are they want to find some sort of resource where they can know all the different tools that you've used to launch your business. And this essentially is a list of affiliate links of products that you recommend to your readers. And this page, or this portion of the autoresponder sequence, actually converts extremely well for me in terms of my affiliate offers. Okay, so, and the reason is because after going through your initial tutorial, you've already kind of established some sort of authority. People trust you. And so naturally what follows is they trust your recommendations. Okay? Okay, so how does this apply to all of you guys? You guys obviously don't sell e-commerce products. You guys are all personal finance bloggers. Okay, and so what you need to first realize is that most of your pages on your blog aren't going to make you any money. Okay? But the ones that do, you need to comb through your analytics reports and find out what those pages are. Make sure you tag all of your outbound affiliate links to see which pages are actually generating you the most revenue. Okay? And then you need to kind of compile these money posts that you have and put forth something cohesive. Now, I say mini-course in here, but it doesn't have to really be a mini-course. Just something that ties all of your money posts together that you can give out as some sort of giveaway. Okay, so let's say you make money off of credit card offers. Put together some sort of credit card offer guide for your readers. Make a course on how you get your finances in order, and tell everyone which products that you use to get your finances in order that happen to have an affiliate payout. Okay? And you got to make sure that you put out good stuff here, because the quality of the stuff that you put out is really going to affect your credibility and your ability to convert these affiliate offers later on. So one thing I wanted to emphasize is that doing everything step by step and actually walking someone through the exact steps to sign up for a service is key, because what I've found, and this is especially through some of my video tutorials, people like to follow your directions exactly. And I thought I'd give you an example of this. One of the services that I sell is Bluehost web hosting. And I remember one day I got this email in my inbox that I had just signed up for Bluehost where I hadn't signed up. And it turns out that this lady had followed my video tutorial and used my email address, because that's what I used to sign up. And so all of a sudden I had a Bluehost account. Okay? And you wouldn't believe it, but it happens. It happens all the time, actually. People like to follow directions verbatim. So what you need to do is you need to act like an adult and be like a teacher, and you need to tell people where to click. You need calls to action on everything. Don't leave it up to chance, because you'd be surprised by what people do. Okay? Okay, so I think Rob wanted to see this slide. Right? So my autoresponder performance. My email funnel converts between 2 and 4% of my signups for my $600 course. Okay? And what's nice is, I've raised the price of my class 3 times, and it hasn't really affected sales one bit. And pretty much every time I reach a new milestone in my course where the demand gets a little high or I have a lot more videos to offer, I pretty much jack up the price a little bit. Okay? The best part of all this is that of the people who don't sign up for my course, an additional 4 to 5% go on to convert some sort of other affiliate offer. Okay? The payout varies from $10 all the way up to $1,000. It's kind of like a slot machine. You wake up in the morning, you look at your phone, check your email, and you see how much you win. It's a really great feeling. Sometimes the payout is even recurring, which means that when someone signs up, you get a little payout every single month. Okay? So it's a really good feeling, and it's a really good way to kind of stabilize the income by selling your own product coupled with offering affiliate offers. Oh, and the best part is there's a double whammy here, where people who sign up for my class then go on to actually use the recommendations that I put forth in my class, which just happens to be the products that I recommend. So I get the $600 for the course, and the products that I recommend, each course sign up has the potential to generate over $1,000. And when you're trying to retire and just trying to make $100K, and you make up to $1,000 per pop, you don't actually have to sell that many of these in a year in order to generate an income to quit your job. Okay? And the best part about all this is that almost all of this stuff is just kind of on autopilot. And like I said, I got a full-time job, 2 kids, the blog, and this course. I don't have a whole lot of time. So this is mainly how I sell and market my course. Okay, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about maximizing signups here. Now, you guys all heard Pat's talk where he was talking about interrupting the flow and that sort of thing, and I was just kind of sitting there with my head down because I'm a big fan of pop-ups because they work. My objective when someone lands on my blog is to steer people to my newsletter because I know I have this funnel in place that converts very well. Okay, so I use a pop-up. I use this thing called a scroll-triggered box. And if people are reading your content, as soon as they scroll down to a certain point, this kind of box flies out from the right and then asks you to sign up for my newsletter. Got forms on my sidebar, the bottom of every post. I got sign-up forms on pretty much every page of my site. Okay, and so that's been my strategy. I haven't done a whole lot of tests to see how it interrupts flow. I don't really quite know how to measure that. And maybe I'll talk to Pat after this. If there's some measurable way of doing that and measuring engagement, perhaps I might change these policies. But for now, this is what's worked for me. Okay, so what are some of the key takeaways? Lead magnet, don't use an ebook. If you sell a product, after you go through your initial tutorial, make sure you have some sort of follow-up sequence where you answer all their questions, hammer on your testimonials, and at the end, include a resource email of all the services that you recommend. And then the other key here is that you want to make good use of video and text. These days, what I'm finding is a lot of people are more into video than text. Maybe I'm old school, but I hate watching video. I prefer text. But video it seems to be the it thing right now. And then place sign-up forms everywhere. Okay? So that's pretty much all I had for you guys today. I wanted to leave some time for questions, but if you guys have any questions and you want to contact me after this presentation, you guys can always email me at info@mywifequitherjob.com. Here's my Twitter handle, and here are my 3 websites. And in the event that you go on mywifequitherjob.com and you cannot find the sign-up form, then let me know because I got problems that I need to fix. Okay? Yeah? I do A/B testing on my email autoresponder sequence. Okay, I did a bunch of that initially, when I was first getting things set up, but less so, recently. Yeah. Yeah. So the FAQ is actually where I convert most people. And the other step where I convert most people, ironically, is after like the first step. So those are the two. The only thing I have to measure is actually clicks. So did the click come from that step and then buy? A lot of times people don't buy right away, right? Because $600 is a lot of money, and they have to think about it a little bit. So I'm not quite sure how accurate those. It's not like they click on that and they just sign up right away. So, yeah. A FinCon special. I'll talk to PT about this. I would have no problems, actually. Yeah, as long as you're willing to put forth the effort. So I do this class for fun. And I hate it when people sign up and they kind of like slack off. So if you're willing to put in the work, yeah, I'd be more than happy. Okay. Yeah. I do not. So let me tell you a little bit about my background. I'm actually an electrical engineer. I'm an engineering director at this company. I still work my full-time job, actually. So I like to do all that stuff by hand. Like, I'm kind of a low-level guy. So, anything else? Yeah. Okay, so my course is on a completely different website. And if someone clicks, okay, so in my, what I'm measuring is actually the click from the email to the course website, where I actually have a whole long form web page that has essentially everything in my autoresponder sequence and more, chock full of testimonials. And that's how I measure it. Yeah, so like I said, I do this for fun, right? My course is very hands-on. So it's got like 150 videos that cover every little aspect. When a student asks a question, I create another video to answer it. And then every week, I actually hold office hours where we all kind of get together. I usually have some sort of lecture planned during those office hours. And then we're all on live chat and where I just kind of answer questions and all the other students can kind of get together and chat with each other and compare notes. I also have a forum where the other students can kind of get together, share their stories about what's working and what's not. So that's, in a nutshell, what this course is all about.
Got a disconnect on the Autoresponder from your blog. Your blog's a financial blog, but you're promoting a course that talks about putting that together, putting the online store together. So are you promoting that from a different blog, or is it straight up from your financial blog?
So Todd, my blog's actually not a finance blog. In fact, I probably don't even belong here. My blog is more like an entrepreneurship blog. And I write a lot about my online store. Like I go into detail about all the mistakes that I kind of went through in bringing that first online store that I created with my wife. So I actually rarely talk about finance in the purest sense.
So you've got targeted traffic coming in relevant to that?
Yes, yes,
okay.
Yeah.
How long until this one sequence do you wait to actually get to the product?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. In the beginning, I didn't actually pitch my product until the very last email. Okay? But what I found was that a lot of people weren't making it to that last email, which was the pitch email. Okay, so now what I do is, at the beginning of all my tutorials, I say, this step is a small portion of my full-blown course on how to create a profitable online store. I preface it with that with a link, and then I go on and give the content. My entire sequence is 9 emails, but the meat of it, the tutorial portion of it, is just 5 emails, and those go out 1 a day. The next 4 emails are the answering the questions, the follow-up stuff, and then the resource page, essentially. Well, after 9 emails, they're on my list, where I then, for my blog posts and that sort of thing, I kind of broadcast my blog posts out to bring more traffic back to the site. So yeah, it doesn't end there. Yeah, after that, I use my list like all of you guys probably do with your lists.
So you actually don't offer a link to buy the product until after the 5 days?
No. Every step of the 5-day tutorial, I actually have a link to buy the product. But I don't talk about price or anything. I just say that this tutorial that you're about to read is a small excerpt of my overall product. If you want to check out, go ahead. I don't try to sell anything at that point. Yeah. That's correct. The affiliate links are within the emails, or they're within blog posts that are my money blog posts that have affiliate links in them. Okay? And just keep in mind that this whole timing thing about 5 days, waiting 2 days, in my mind, it's a little bit arbitrary because it's kind of hard to measure conversion rates and that sort of thing across days. It's just kind of something arbitrary that I picked. Okay? So take that with a grain of salt. Anything else? All right, that's all I got for you. Thanks a lot for listening.